Financial disclaimer, y'all. Take a good look. Check it out. Financial disclaimer, y'all. Whoa, that was a mic check, and it's working just fine. Thank you very much. Yeah. Professor. Hold on. Let me throw the link up. Throw that link up. Okay. Let me throw that. Yeah, it's late here on the East Coast, but usually when I do my lives, I do it late enough so that it's maybe a good time for you guys out there out in the West Coast, y'alls. All right. Jackson's in the house. Yeah, you're a hottie. You're a certified hottie. Let me get rid of this. The microphone. Everybody loves the professor, man. Believe it or not. Get rid of this fair use thing. Get back up in here. Waiting on the professor to fix her microphone situation. That's usually what knocks her out the frame, the microphone. She needs the microphone fiend. Jackson. Yeah. It's just a little something I want to talk about. I'm not going to be on long, just 4 hours. You know. Professor!
Hello. I won't be long either.
Okay.
That's because I took a sleeping pill right before I knew you were coming live.
Oh, okay. It's all good. So, who the fudge does he think he is? I'm talking about he is Jeff Bezos.
Oh, I just heard about it. He gonna make a lot of people mad. What you want to bet my prime is gonna go up to close to $180 a year? I see it coming.
Well, let me tell you, because this is actually in line with what I predicted. It's in line with that, with our political system, our system, and you have experience with the military and with your job, so when somebody comes through, you can tell if they're inexperienced or not.
Right.
Yeah. And also, you can tell when somebody's making an outstanding effort to try to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
So you just kick back and wait for the dominoes to fall, and they figure out. Hopefully, they get to figure out without any severe loss or penalty or anything like that. And they learn, hey, yeah, this is the way it is. Sorry to sound so cryptic.
See, my question is, he talks all this crap about getting rid of Jay Powell, right?
Yeah.
Why ain't he fired him yet? What does Comrade Powell know? Because I'm still something about that just ain't right.
Okay.
Because he put Jerome in there, and now he wants him out on that first term. So
yes, he did.
That's what I'm curious about. Why ain't you gotten rid of him yet?
So Is the Fed independent or not?
From what I understand, it is. He ain't that easy to get rid of.
So if it's independent, why should he be able to get rid of him?
That's a good question.
So is he independent or not? And if he is independent, then he ain't there to serve you and only you. If he's independent.
That's fact.
However, there's this one ex what do you call it, stockbroker that I know that's angry and says that, yeah, Trump should fire him. But then when I ask him, dude, what's the same? I asked him the same question I just asked you. Is he independent or not? Because if he's independent, he's supposed to be doing what he thinks is right for our economy, not to serve you and whatever it is you got going on. And I think for people who aren't living in some kind of haze or aren't part of a cult, they should have been able to see something wasn't right when the stock market was crashing, and then all of a sudden the president comes out and says, yeah, this would be a good time to jump in, and then all of a sudden stock market shoots up. If Trump were a broker, he'd be sitting alongside an attorney while FINRA is investigating him for market manipulation. Okay?
Yes, something is off. Definitely off.
So is Powell supposed to aid him with that? Is he supposed to aid and abet that? Is that what he's supposed to do?
Nope.
He's supposed to be independent. So if he comes out, and not only that, well, okay, so the Fed. Let's go on the Fed, right?
Right.
You being a historian, you can talk about what you think could be coming along. You can speculate, and you would have to go back to historical events, do a comparative analysis with what's going on today,
right,
for you to claim that we're going down a particular path. Hey, Brandon, right? You can claim that. You can claim that several countries are going to wind up clashing or doing this or bonding, whatever the case is, based on historical information. In other words, you're not predicting the future. You're just using information from your discipline, which is history.
Correct.
To piece together a potential future. Okay? Now, sometimes people get confused when it comes to the Fed. First of all, the Fed is a group of people. And Powell is just the leader of that group. So they come together and they tell Powell, look, this is what I'm seeing, and then they go down the line, yeah, this is what we're seeing, blah, 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 blah. Take that, put it together with what you got, mix it up, dice it up, make your salad, and present it to the world when it's time for you to do your meeting.
Right.
You go and you go in front of the press and you tell the world, hey, this is what the history, aka the data, has shown us. It's history. The past couple of months, we've had this. Now, after analyzing this, along with stuff that's going on today, this is our projection.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Some people get mad. Some people are mad that Powell is not creating the narrative that they want for their industry. If they're industry leaders, if they are CEOs of certain corporations,
right,
they may not like the fact that Powell is not expressing their narrative because it's going to interfere with the amount of profit that they'll be making or shining in front of their board. But that's not supposed to be the purpose of the Fed. The Fed ain't supposed to be there,
right,
for anybody really, except for us. They're supposed to be working for us. That's it. So here's the deal, right?
Right.
So here comes, and I'll explain what's so scary about this. Here comes Bezos.
Yep.
And he decides to make it public for the world to know that when you go on Amazon, you're going to be able to see how the tariff is impacting the price of certain items. So maybe that item might say, this costs $10, but with the tariff, it's going to cost you $12. So now, is it guaranteed that the corporation is going to pass the taxes on to the consumer? Listen, it's not guaranteed, but what is the common practice? The common practice is yes, the consumer is going to pick up that tax because that's what a tariff is, it's a tax.
Yep.
And the consumer is going to pay for that tax.
They are.
Corporations absorbing that, they might do that for like a month or so.
Right.
It all depends on what kind of strategy they want to use. Maybe they want to pull customers from their competitors and make a big deal about the fact that, no, listen, we're not going to charge you this tax. Oh, but the fine print says yet. That's what the fine print says. The fine print says
yep.
Yet. Oh, you're going to pay for it. It's just not yet. And most people don't read the fine print. Or most people don't understand how it's being posed. They might say, we understand how tariffs might impact the pricing, but compare our prices today with the price after the tariff kicks in. What did I just say? I didn't say I wasn't going to increase the price. All I said to you was compare the price today with the price tomorrow. What tomorrow? Listen, I already know that human beings have a terrible memory. Terrible. And not only that, most people are not going to do their due diligence. So if I say that, I already know most people aren't even going to check. But you know what? Just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and say that. Let them interpret what they want to hear with that. Whatever. They might think, oh, look, Mr. Burns ain't going to raise his prices because of the tariffs. That might be what they hear. That's not what I'm saying. I said check today and check tomorrow. That's it. So when those that do their due diligence, check today and then check tomorrow, they could turn around and say, Damn, that Burns is keeping it real. He ain't passing it on to us. Listen, clown. I didn't say I wasn't. I said check today, check tomorrow. How about next week? Oh, so the product went from $10 to $10.25. Nobody's saying nothing. Oh, the week after that, $10.25 to $10.50. Nobody's saying nothing. Everybody's swamping over to my side. I'm capturing some of my competitors' customers because they're thinking, oh, wow, look, Burns is keeping it real. The competitors jacked it up right away. It's $12 when it was $10. Oh, Burns, I checked it. Burns said, check today, check tomorrow. It was still $10. Oh, but 2 weeks later, it's $10.50. They might not have seen that. But you know what? After everything's said and done, yeah, the product is going to be $12 on my end, too. It's just that everybody's already locked in with me. So it's all good. That's marketing, baby. That's marketing, and that's the type of strategy.
The issue with what Jeff Bezos did is that he let the consumer know the president told you that these other countries are going to pay for those tariffs. Now you know that's a lie. Because Bezos is a businessman himself, and he understood that you were going to pay for that. See, it doesn't bother me when I saw that they were going to raise the price on stuff on Amazon, because common sense would say that's what's going to happen. But if you're blinded by cult of personality and blinded by politics, you were stupid enough to believe that Canada was going to pay, whilst Canadians are selling their houses in Florida and saying F the United States, whilst Mexico is telling us to go screw ourselves.
Yeah. It's all backfiring.
It's backfiring. Now he had to backpedal on the tariffs on cars, on vehicles.
Listen, cult of personality. I'm always saying, if you're going to be a serious investor, or if you're going to be a serious business person and you want to grow your business, you can't really be caught up on personalities. You might use them.
Yep.
You might use them to piggyback. Because if they're successful marketers, you might piggyback off that.
Right.
But when it comes to your bottom line for your business, you're going to come on TV or you're going to come on whatever podcast or whatever, and you're going to say one thing, but behind closed doors, yeah, you're going to be focused on your bottom line. But for some reason, the average person doesn't seem to understand them.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Well, and it's a beautiful thing, especially that you're engaged in a business. You're going to see it for what it is. Not that all business people see things for what they are. A lot of small business people shot themselves in the foot. They voted against their own interests, and now they're paying the price. Now, let me tell you what scares me about what happened with Bezos, because Bezos later on the day, he walked back what he said he was going to do.
That's not going to be easy to walk back, though, Daddy Jeff.
It ain't easy to walk back, but guess what? He's going to do it. He's going to do it, but you know what? There's no data available to tell him that by making that statement, he hurt his consumer base. No. As a matter of fact, it really isn't hurting his consumer base for him to do that price comparative.
Not me, because I have to shop him for my darn shea butter. It's business to me. I'm not in my feelings about it.
And even people with their feelings are still going to keep buying Amazon because it's way too convenient.
Yeah.
Right? Way too convenient. Nobody's giving up on convenience. Brandon, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing good, man. Yeah, nobody's going to give up on convenience. That a product is being brought to your doorstep as opposed to me getting off my couch, getting in the car, going to wherever people go, Costco, Walmart, Target, wherever it is that they go. Maybe they're not feeling that. Maybe they're watching some kind of Netflix movie and they just don't feel like moving, and then all of a sudden you open the door and there's your stuff.
Yep.
So here's the scary part about that, about him walking it back, right? Talking about a billionaire,
right,
with a business that's not going to suffer from what he did initially, which was the price comparison to his customers. He's not going to suffer from it. His business is not going to go down because of that. However, the question is, why bother walking it back? You're a billionaire, bro. Why are you walking that back? Why are you so concerned about what the administration says? I know why.
Why?
And it's scary. It's very, very scary.
Why did he walk it back?
Let's bring Trujillo into the frame.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Trujillo into the frame on this one. Right now, full disclosure, my father was a member of that regime.
Yeah, you told me. You've told us that.
He had a high-ranking position in that regime. Here's the deal.
You mentioned that before.
I did. You remember, right, Brandon?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so here we go. And this is not exclusive to Trujillo's regime. This is a common practice with regimes just like Trujillo's. Without being specific, you can figure out what regimes I'm talking about. All right? If you did your homework, you know what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. Now, Trujillo hated the fact that he was not accepted by the upper class. And there's some racism in there too. Because his grandmother was Haitian, he was not considered 100%. Okay? He was a mutt. He did everything possible to make sure that his regime was surrounded by nothing but the pure ones. Okay? But he himself, he was not accepted by the elites, by the old money, by the descendants of Spaniards and French. Not accepted. And he knew that. However, once he became what he became, all those industries, all that business, all those businesses, they were his.
Oh, wow.
On paper, yeah. But that's what happens with those types of regimes. On paper, it says something else. It says something else. On paper, it's got somebody else's name on it. You're a member of the elite. Okay, your name will stay on your corporation. It'll stay there. But trust and believe when I say, hey, I need some of that money to pay something. You're not going to say no. Because you know what's going to happen if you say no.
Oh.
You say no. Oh, we seem to have found evidence that this person is engaging in some kind of plot against the people, against the government. We're going to have to take them in.
And that's the last you see of them.
And who's going to stop them? Nobody stopped them. Okay? Nobody stopped them.
Because ain't nobody stopping this hot mess we're going through right now.
Nobody is stop. Who's going to stop them? People, I still keep hearing people talking about, well, this is the levers of government. We got 3 equal. There's no 3 equal nothing anymore. You're in a fantasy world.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no more 3 equal branches of nothing. There's 1 tree trunk, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet in its full capacity. Give it time.
I'm already seeing it in the government. We used to get what's called the high 3, and we still do right now. Oh, he wants to take that up to the high 5 and mess with our pensions.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the reality of what it is. Now, during the Cold War, and this is where China might come in and kind of slow down the process a little bit, because during the Cold War, we always had somebody pointing the finger at our government and saying, they're not who you think they are. And so in an effort to try to not look a certain way, of course the 3 branches of government were allowed to conduct themselves the way they're supposed to conduct themselves when there are 3 equal branches. Right. Because we come back and say, no, okay, your system is garbage. You call yourselves communists, and by the way, communism does not exist in a large scale like a country like the USSR and China. That's not communism.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's not communism. They love using that word. They throw it around all over the place, but that is not communism.
They do, as a degrading word.
Hey, Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean what.
Well, they made it demeaning, just like the word woke. Woke is not demeaning. It's stupid because it's actually from the hood. It's just another way of saying that.
Your eyes are open. You're watching.
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
Going on.
You now see things for what they are. It's a shortened version of saying that. But because it's been introduced into politics, that it's now been tarnished. The word has been tarnished, just like the word communism. Yeah. Communism really isn't bad. Actually, what's his name? Karl Marx summarized communism to critique capitalism. And that's really what it was, a critique. But now under communism, and listen, you wanted to get somebody unalived real quick, and Trujillo's regime, all you got to do is point to somebody and say, yo, that dude's a communist. No questions asked. The police will be at his doorstep, arresting him, torturing him. Maybe they let him live, maybe they don't. Just on an accusation. And isn't it funny, listen, if you're paying attention, you should see what's going on. If you're not one of these cult personalities, if you're not in a cult, you don't have a cult mentality, you should be seeing what's going on. Okay? It's not that you can't survive under that type of situation, because you can. Otherwise, nations like Russia wouldn't exist, China wouldn't exist, Venezuela wouldn't exist. Now, how the majority of the people are living, that's something else. See, one of the things that was so attractive about this government and this nation was the ability to move up socially and economically with the numbers and the ease that we're able to do here when you can't do that in other places.
Yeah.
That was the
Good
attraction.
luck. Good luck with that now.
The American
Hey.
dream.
Times have changed. Let's see. Let's see how long it takes.
Well, I got my seatbelt on. That's all I can do right now. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
You're doing big things, Brandon. You're doing big things.
People aren't
You better
seeing
just-
it.
No, they're not. There are a lot of people that are not seeing it. That was a shot across the bow. Is that how it's said, Professor?
Yes, just like
What
I
happened?
said.
What happened to Bezos today? That was a shot across the bow.
Because
I missed the first part of your conversation. I missed what happened.
Well, Jeff
Can you
Bezos.
sum it up?
Yeah, tell them about what Bezos did.
So Bezos, who's a billionaire, right? One of the most successful businesses today, which is Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out and he says to the world, hey, when you shop on Amazon, you're going to see the price of an item before the tariffs and what it costs after the tariffs.
Ah, okay.
The administration did not like that.
Orange Cheeto
Yeah, I
Puff,
can imagine.
man. Yep, Orange Cheeto
That-
Puff.
Pam Bondi today in her press conference, they basically threatened Bezos. And then Bezos later walked it back. And what the professor and I were discussing was, what is Bezos' need to walk it back? Dude, you're a billionaire of one of the most successful corporations in the world that's not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, it just continues to grow.
If anything, people would support him more, I think. Because
So why walk it back? So why walk it back?
Because he's in their pocket.
No, he's in their pocket?
Or what? How? Maybe.
It's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Because he supported Trump financially for his campaign. That's not a secret.
Yeah.
So what was the need to walk it back?
Fear.
Fear.
Well, look at how he's using the political system to attack people. Look at the lawyers that prosecuted him. I mean, that's all getting mostly through courts and stuff.
When there are three equal branches, is that supposed to be happening?
That gets back to that point as well. Is now they're just almost flat out ignoring the
Trump administration on several occasions already has given the courts a middle finger.
Yes, and walked away and disregarded, and there's no repercussions, none whatsoever happening.
Is that supposed to happen when there are three equal branches?
That's exactly. I'm with you. I agree with you 100%. I know exactly what you're saying.
The Senate,
and
the House of Representatives, they're
kowtowing
all his.
They're kowtowing to his demands.
They're all his.
And what bothers me most is all these people have taken oaths to protect the Constitution. Period. Point blank. And then they're just blatantly violating that.
Total violation.
Yeah.
I got into an argument. Now that the Queen is here, I hope the Queen is still here. I got into an argument with a vet, and I think I brought this up before. It got heated. All right. There was there was mother effing going back and
forth. Is that
forth.
what happened to your finger?
No. That was a separate incident. Had you been in that live and heard me, way out of character. You guys, if you didn't know it was me, if my name wasn't on the, and I didn't use a what do you call it? I actually had my face up. Yeah, see the queen. Look at the queen's reaction. Yeah, you would have seen a side of me that I don't like presenting, but this guy, he took
You got
it there.
under your skin.
Oh, you don't think he was a vet? So he was faking it? Because he said he was. He said he was a vet. He asked me,
Yeah.
did you ever serve? And then he started boasting about being part of some OEI something, LMNOP, whatever the hell he said he was.
Well, I remember when me and you and the professor were on with that one guy the other night. You know.
Yeah.
You were getting a little riled on there. You kept your cool though.
Oh no, I went off the deep end on this one. It was on the Queen's Live. It was on the Queen's Live.
I've got to turn off my car, and when I do, it's going to disconnect. So I'm going to have to disconnect and reconnect. But I'll be back in 1 minute.
All right.
Okay. So yeah, I was completely out of character. Completely, I didn't use an avatar. I was on there. I don't use avatars. And the dude got personal, right? So yeah, I came back at him like, who the F you think you are? Oh, it was somebody else's live. Okay, I'm sorry. Post that and show that.
The point about it is that people's belief in the cult of personality ain't gonna save them when there's no food in your cupboard, when there's no toilet paper to wipe your behind.
Yeah.
When there are no cleaning products to clean your house. And when you look at the darn steps, there are even truckers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there
are truckers coming out.
75% of the truckers.
They're coming out making YouTube videos telling y'all.
75% of the trucking community voted against their own interest. I can't tell you how many arguments I've gotten into it with truck drivers.
I'm tripping on the fact that they're coming out outright telling these people, like, y'all do understand that these trucks are about to stop moving because people don't want to pay the tariffs when the stuff is delivered to their spot. And so the stuff is being turned around. That's been happening in California. And then you know how it works out here in the Northwest. Whatever California does, it's going to by default affect Washington and Oregon. It's been that way for years.
Let me tell you, Professor, what you're saying right now, I forecasted like a year ago.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
I knew about the trucks. The trucks gave me a bad feeling a long time ago. I knew that was coming, but I just didn't know it would come to this extreme this fast.
When I spoke to these truck drivers and said the same thing that you just said, they would call me all kinds of names and top it off with that cherry on top by saying, "Drill, baby, drill." Yeah. Drill, baby, drill, huh? Okay. I wasn't practicing what I was preaching because I was engaging with these dudes and I was getting all wrapped up when I shouldn't be getting wrapped up. But I felt like, I think the message was important at the time. Hopefully, think about it before they get into that voting booth or something. Felt like a little bit of some difference, maybe a little hesitation, I would have caused something. It didn't. It went in. They went in, and when they pull those little levers, they were probably saying to themselves, "Drill, baby, drill, drill, baby, drill."
And it don't work like that. And it don't work like that.
I try to reason with them. Drill, baby, drill. Are you a business person? I mean, okay. So you expect the oil industry here in the United States to just say, yeah, we're going to give up some of our profits, right? But yet here you are complaining that the rates are too low. But now let me ask you, you're complaining that you're hauling this stuff at a lower rate, but guess what? While people are crying about inflation, you're asking for an increase in pay that's going to impact the very people that are complaining about inflation.
Yeah.
Oh, damn! That was too much of a sidetrack right there. So their response to that was, "Nah, drill, baby, drill." Dude, wake the hell up! What are you saying? Do you hear yourself? Do you hear what you're saying? You're complaining because you're not making the money that you want to make, because the rates are too low. So what do you think is going to happen when they give into your demands, start paying more to have these goods transported? Do you think that the people aren't going to pay for that? Yes, people are going to pay for that increase. Yep. It's going to be passed on to the consumer. Nah, drill, baby, drill.
I'm sorry.
No.
Broke, baby, broke. That's what's gonna happen to you.
Yeah, bro, that's business 101, man.
It's not funny. People shouldn't be this stupid at this point.
And they didn't because they didn't have an answer to that question. It's Joe. ¡Hey, nuestra familia humilde! Yo! I can't believe it. Yo! This person here, Lily, that's Lily. I'm sorry, I put your government out there. My apologies. But I met her at another live, at Keisha's live. Yeah! Look at the shout out, y'all. Let me translate that. Dímelo! That's not a translation, but damn, it's the way it was said. That's how you're supposed to say it. Yeah. He should have, you know what, Jackson? That's what he should have put on his avatar, Ronald McDonald, because he's a certified clown. Real. Certified clown. Wow, Lily. Is it okay if I call you by your government, or do you want me to just call you nuestra or familia or humilde? Humilde. Let me tell you something about the word humilde. Humilde is humble. Her name her channel name translates into our humble family. Okay. Notice how I had to double D in the house.
Oh, good night. Good night.
No, come on. He loves me. Look for the hearts. But check this out. Liliana. Okay. Yeah, I'll let everybody else read this. Y'all reading that? Okay. Let me know if you need some translating. I'll translate it.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, your name is Liliana, but
they call me. Go ahead.
Dicen, Lily. Así que me puedes decir como tú gusta. She
wants me to say it however I would like to.
Okay, thank you. I'm good. I can understand Spanish, but not grammar too good. You know.
I don't understand.
Right. Because look, I did it with her. The name of her page, of her channel. You have to flip some of the words when it comes to English is the only one that's backwards. By the way, everybody else.
Yeah.
Every other language
Yeah, I
is back.
understand that. All the Latin languages are very they're all similar. They're all the same. All
So
the Latin-based languages.
if I were to translate it literally, it says "our family humble," which in English, of course. So you gotta switch some words around. So it should say "nuestra humilde familia," our humble family.
I'm at 1%, so I might have to.
Hey, Guava, man, I missed your live, man. Oh man, you don't know how much that hurts. Because guys, listen, Iguava, he teaches Hebrew. Okay, he teaches Hebrew. He's I think we're from different tribes. But he teaches Hebrew. I'm from
I'm
the
probably
Semite
gonna get disconnected, but I'm gonna join as soon as I get back to my house.
All right, cool.
My laptop.
So he's I'm Simeon. I'm from the tribe of Simeon. He's oh, I forgot, man. Guava, I'm
How
sorry.
do you know you're from the tribe of Simeon though?
My lineage is traced back from the slave trade. Through the slave trade.
You sure about that?
Yeah, knowing where because you do know that when Israel got broke up.
Yeah, AD 700 when they had to leave Jerusalem. Yeah, I know that.
They had to beat, and not only that, that was right. So when they had to leave, a lot of them went west. Like for example, the tribe of the Igbo. I forget what branch of the 12 tribes they're from.
They're probably Judah because that city in Benin is Ouida, and Ouida is let me see. That's how it's spelled. That is a derivative of Judah.
Uh-huh.
So then that don't explain how you know you're Simeon then.
I found out through some Israelites who helped break it down, but it was too long, and I don't remember all that.
Okay, good.
I just ran with that.
Okay.
And I definitely know I'm of Hebrew descent through what do you call this thing? What do you call this? Yeah, there it is. Ouida. So I did that one of those ancestry things, and I did one of those ancestry things, and I definitely know that I got Sephardic in my family from Spain, from the peninsula. And not only that, I also have DNA from the actual Israel. Kind of wild.
Okay.
Not a big geographical area. No, right there. So I guess I can make the claim. Maybe. Well, I heard that.
My bad.
So Levi, the Levi's, yeah, I could be Levi. Does Levi and Simeon are always together, from what I understand. But going back to what I was saying, but Brandon's already gone. We summed it up for Brandon, right? No,
yep,
but
he
then
said he'll be back. Yeah.
But then kicked in. Somebody kicked in, said something. Okay, let me translate for you. Jackson, right quick. All right. It says, Jackson, cuando te conocí por primera vez, Me trataste mal, pero te perdono porque soy hija del Señor. Hey,
That
Jackson,
sounds terrific. Ooh.
that sounds serious. Listen,
Yep.
Jackson, let me tell you what she just said. When I met you for the first time, you treated me poorly or you treated me bad. But I forgive you because I'm a child of God.
Did you really treat her bad?
Jackson? Ooh. Well, Jackson is a jokester. I
Oh,
understand. And sometimes when we try to be funny, sometimes we
upset people.
yeah, sometimes we don't mean to.
Oh, I know. I know you don't do it on purpose.
Yeah. But you know, and sometimes we say things that we don't necessarily identify with what we're saying, yo. But we're repeating stupid stuff. And because we heard somebody else laugh, we figure, hey, we can roll with this. And then we're saying something to a different crowd, not acknowledging the fact that there is a difference.
Right.
And we say something and people get mad. People start looking at you like, why you say that? Why you say that? See? Lily learned the hard way. Yo, Jackson, I'm going to give you a course on how to read the room. Yeah. I'm cool with Jackson because me and Jackson are kind of like. All right, Professor, I got you. Yeah. Bebé bromista. Look, even Chihuahua knows Spanish. What?
You overeating. This is getting annoying, and you always want stuff.
Man, Chihuahua, man. He puts that information out there. He puts that Hebrew out there. I need to get my Hebrew right. I need to get it right. Because I want to be able to read the original scriptures, not the translated version. Because things get lost in translation. They really do. Sometimes when you translate something, you distort the actual meaning. Like right now, if somebody wasn't proficient in Spanish and tried to translate what Lily said, oh, okay. All right, Lily. Thank you for coming. Hey, and what an amazing surprise. Really, I'm really. I don't want to get emotional here, Lily. Okay. I don't want to get emotional here, but listen, I'm really glad that you came. It caught me off guard. Caught me off guard. Anyway, let me wipe the tears. Hold on. Before I do that. And Beaver Lake. Hey, Jackson, that's your new name, Beaver Lake. You're like a combination of Justin Bieber and Justin Timberlake. You're Beaver Lake because of your picture there. Oh, you are? Wow, I didn't even. You know what? I can't tell because it doesn't show up here. But yeah, thank you, thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. Hey, guys, I'm getting love from Lily. Right. Like if someone 500 years later tried to translate Superfly from current white narrators. Superfly. Hey, Brandon, did you ever see that movie, Superfly? Or were you too on it? What you got? How about now? Can you hear us?
Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
No
hear
echo.
us? No echo. Can you hear us though?
Yes.
Okay. So, Brandon, have you seen the movie Superfly?
Wait a minute. The echo's coming back. Superfly.
What?
I did see the movie
What?
Superfly years and years ago.
What?
Hang on.
You got issues.
Jesus.
Ron O'Neal. Now, Double D, as young as you are, how you know Ron O'Neal, huh? Because you're only like 11 years old. You're probably the youngest person. No.
Oh, you ain't right.
Right? Young. Hey, Jackson is the youngest person here.
11.
How you know about? Okay. Here we go. Question of the night. What made Superfly super, Brandon? Brandon, what made Superfly super? Can you hear us without the echo? Echo.
Echo.
Yeah. I was only kidding, I hope. Yo. Was that really? Oh, okay. Trying to fix that. How about now? Still got the echo? Echo.
I know you're messing with them, but they're still getting the echo.
But now we could barely hear you. Your volume is very low. Maybe there's a separate setting on your mic so you can raise the volume. But you got to answer this question, Brandon. What made Superfly super?
8:30, I'm checking out. So letting y'all know.
What thing you see? Oh, that's another 18
Remember,
minutes.
so long. It was
Brenda got a baby by Tupac. What? I gotta go talk to Brenda about
I gotta
this.
try on my phone. It's only got 1%, but this ain't gonna work.
All right.
What?
Get your laptop. Oh, really, D? D, you all up in the set? Let me tell you something. When those movies were out, I was living in Harlem at the time.
I didn't exist.
Damn, Professor.
I'm just saying. I'm not too sorry.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I was living in Harlem at the time, and it was I had my certified afro. Okay, I had my certified afro. I had the gear. I had all the gear. So, you know what I'm saying? All the kids around me, I never saw the movie because my parents wouldn't allow me to see stuff like that. But it wasn't until in my later years that I got to see it. Want some blow? Right. So I don't know who Superfly. I don't know what that personality Superfly was supposed to be. Those were some serious gangsters in Harlem at the time when I was living in Harlem. Who was was it Bumpy? I think Bumpy was the last one. But that's not who the kids around me, they were all bragging about being, what's his name?
Cooley High?
No, one of the gangsters from Harlem.
Frank Lucas?
Who?
Frank Lucas?
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
I know.
To be Frank.
Okay.
Who was the one that told the Italian mafia to go kiss his butt? Nicky Barnes. Nicky Barnes.
That's his name. Yeah, Nicky Barnes.
Everybody trying to be Nicky. Hey, we're talking about elementary school kids. That's what they were bragging about being. That's
not Bumpy Johnson.
No, everybody. Well, you got to understand, Professor. I was born in 1901. You know what I'm saying?
Wambas talk about Shaft.
I'm
always bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Listen, I'm like 100-something years old. Check this out. No, these elementary school kids were bragging about being Nicky Barnes. You believe that? We're talking about 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. Bragging that in the hood, in Harlem. That was their hero, I guess. I don't.
Okay.
I didn't have a clue. I didn't know who Nicky Barnes was.
I figured out what the echo was. Is I had it playing in YouTube while I was on the SteamYard. So and both of them were shouting at me. It was very disorienting.
Yeah, Tracy. Who the hell is Tracy? Jackson, who the hell is Tracy?
Dick Tracy, the detective back in the.
No. He's not talking about Dick Tracy. I don't think so.
Oh.
I hope not. Jackson.
Oh, you're talking about Jackson's comment.
Jackson going crazy. Okay, see, that's what. Yeah, they had. Oh, Pam Grier. Forget it. Pam Grier. I didn't know she was in a relationship with Richard Pryor, and he drove her up the wall. He drove her crazy.
Well, he was crazy.
Yeah, he was a nut.
She was in love with him. Wasn't he raised by prostitutes or something like that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I remember hearing that.
Y'all ridiculous.
No, seriously, I think he was raised.
Yeah, he was. He was raised by prostitutes.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew how to be a pimp. I don't know. But
he saw how it worked. He didn't have to read that. Double
D got the scoop. He messed her up. He couldn't have kids because of him. What? She couldn't have kids because of him, or he couldn't have kids. Oh, really? How old are you, man? If you were watching that, you were watching reruns? Oh, she couldn't. All right. She couldn't. Yeah, hey, I'm not surprised. I hope it's not for the same reason my sister-in-law couldn't have kids. She finally did. But for 13 years, they were trying to have kids, her and my brother.
What happened?
So she went to the gynecologist because she just wanted to confirm that there was something wrong with her, but there was nothing wrong with her. Nothing wrong with her.
Oh.
The doctor, the gynecologist said, "Well, what are you guys doing?" So she gave a breakdown of how they were getting their groove on, and the gynecologist said, "No, you got to tell him to take it easy. He was bruising her uterus."
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, he wasn't sorry.
Oh, I
thought you were gonna say they were trying with the wrong hole, but
no. Well, hey, it wasn't going. I don't think it was going to be able to go in the other hole, because I mean that thing had a name. Yeah,
he was turning her into a shish kebab.
Nah, he named that thing Spike. Hey, yo, he's like I said one time. Like I said one time, we were he had me drive. I was like 16 years old, and he had me drive while some girl he picked up at the club was rapping on the mic. So when we got to the apartment we were staying in, which was his friend from medical school, when we got to the apartment, you know how people laughing, carrying on, booty grabbing before they go into the room, ha ha ha, he, and the booty grabbing. Yeah, so they went in the room. I'm chilling, probably eating something. I was always eating something. Man, that door burst wide open. This lady came out, didn't even bother to put her bra and her shirt on.
Oh, wow.
Them things were just, them things were just swinging in the air. And she was mother effing. No, she was mother effing and saying, "You think I'm? Hell no. You ain't touching me with that thing." Blah, blah, blah. And walked right out. And here he comes. He comes out naked. His thing swinging, looking like a bell. That thing was just swinging, and
His third leg.
his third leg just knocking his knees from side to side.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, she's complaining.
Oh gosh, you got me cracking up.
Like, yo, what happened? She didn't know from the car. She didn't know. I guess not. He didn't. I guess he just had just enough out to I don't know, like,
lure her in.
Yeah, lure her in. That was bait, I guess. when she got the complete rod and reel, she said, "Hell no, shit, I'm out of here." Like, damn.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I just told a joke to my Jamaican friend today.
Was it something similar to that?
Yes, it was. That reminded me.
Okay.
You want to hear it? Would you like to enjoy the joke or another time?
No, I mean, I'm good. I'm good with it.
Yep, I got 9 minutes, and I'm going to hit the sack that sleeping pill setting in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta get in with those. I know.
Yeah,
you got a window that you gotta do. Otherwise, they don't.
I want to hear the joke though.
Okay. So there's an American couple, and they get married, and they're newlyweds, and they decide to go down to Jamaica for their honeymoon,
Right.
and they fell in love, and the man, he loved his wife Wendy so much that he got her name tattooed on his member.
Oh Lord.
Oh damn.
So when he was saluting, it said Wendy.
Okay.
But when he was, when he wasn't, it just said WY, So,
Wait a minute. What? Saluting, it said Wendy.
when the tattoo said Wendy.
Right.
When he was
Saluting, yeah.
saluting. But when he wasn't saluting, it said WY. WY. You get it? You following me? Okay.
Mr. Burns, hi.
The middle letter is shrunk, basically. All right. So they go down to Jamaica, and they're in this hotel, and on the bottom floor in the lobby, they've got a nudist bar. And they say, "Oh, well, let's have a little fun. Let's go down to the nudist bar, bar." So they do, and they end up sitting next to this Rastafarian guy.
Dexter.
Yeah, next to him. Everybody's naked. It's a nudist thing, and he just happens to glance over, and he notices that the Rastafarian's got a WY on his. He says, "Excuse me, I don't mean to be nosy or anything, but is your girl named Wendy as well?"
Oh.
What you mean, man? And he says, your tattoo, it's WY. Do you say Wendy? And he says, "No, mine says, 'Welcome to Jamaica. Have a nice day.'"
Oh. And they weren't in small letters either. Ouch!
You got me in tears.
That's crazy.
Oh gosh. All right, I gotta get up out of here. I tried to hold this pill. I can't.
Have a good night, Miss.
All right, well,
Y'all too.
you're not gonna get a chance to hear this one, Professor, if you leave right now.
Oh,
Hear what?
Okay, so this guy's knocking on the door, and or he's about to enter his apartment. Got the key, and he sees this other guy standing in front of the door going, "Oh, Samantha." And he looks at him and says, "What the hell is that all about?" "Oh, I made love to my girl Samantha, and I used my finger, and now when I smell it, I remember her all the time. Oh, Samantha." Like, what? That sounds crazy. No, you should try it. I'm telling you. So the next day he comes back and he sees the guy again. Samantha. And he notices that the guy's about to enter his apartment. He says, "Hey, did you try it? Did you do what I told you? I bet you remember your lady." Well, sure did. Thanks for the advice, Elizabeth. Like, oh shit.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so here we go. All right, Professor. Good night.
All right. Good night, y'all. See y'all later.
Good night.
Have a good night, Professor. Yeah, that was crazy. That was cray.
Yeah. I went to the proctologist the other day for a checkup.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. And I asked him, while he was doing a checkup back there, I said, "Hey, do me a favor, take your ring off. It's a little uncomfortable." And he said, "That's not my ring, that's my watch."
Oh damn. Listen, Brandon, hey, it doesn't change how I feel about you. There it is. I can't believe it. You know what? Now that you mentioned that, I just ate a little while ago and I'm hungry already. Again.
Well, that happens. Did you eat good? Did you eat big or no?
No, and it wasn't good. It was spaghetti and meatballs.
Usually if I get a little snack or something, if I don't get an actual big meal, yeah, I'm hungry right after. It's like an appetizer.
But I have to snack up. I'm gonna have to get some provisions too.
Now, when I do road trips, I do a lot of peanuts, beef jerky. What's your go-to snack as a driver?
I'm ashamed to say, man.
No, don't be.
Ashamed to say. You know those kind bars with the chocolate and the nuts
Yes.
and all that?
Yeah. The granola bars.
Yeah.
Those are good. Those are healthier than what I was eating.
Pistachios, man. When I buy pistachios, I overdo it. I don't know how many you're supposed to eat a day, but I go through like half of a big bag, like in one sitting. It's probably not healthy for me to go all out with that.
I'm that way with sunflowers. If I get those big bags at the
but then for me, it'd be the salt. The salt would be the killer for me.
Yeah,
sunflower seeds, and I won't get them without the salt either. That'd be sacrilegious to me.
Yeah,
gotta have that salt.
You got blood pressure. I got blood pressure issues. I
got blood pressure then, and type 2.
So you got to be real careful. I'm on the verge. I've been able to keep my blood pressure down enough, cutting coffee out and smoking less, exercising more, basically, to keep me where I'm not high, but I'm still kind of. It's not good.
I was out of control, really bad, for a hot minute.
Yeah.
That's why when I went to go get something done, the doctor just said, "Nah, you're going straight to the emergency." But I was able to keep it under control without medication.
Yeah.
For a good amount of time. But lately I've been so stressed out and going crazy.
Yeah. Hey, what happened that morning that you went live? And I saw you, and I popped in for a minute because I was on my break, and I said hi, and you said, "I got to go." And I watched the relive, and you were like, "Oh my God, I'm late already." What was up with that?
Yeah. That's one of the things that had my blood pressure up. Okay.
I'm sure.
Let me give you a breakdown. All right. This is, oh my God. All right. So I pick up a load in New Jersey going to Phoenix, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
The route my GPS sends me through is I-40, which cuts. Where I wind up taking I-40?
I'm not familiar with I-40.
So from Jersey, from where I was in Jersey, did I pick it up in Jersey? Yeah, I think I picked it up in Jersey. Wait a minute. Maybe not. I don't remember where I picked it up. But the bottom line is, I wound up taking 80 to 81. No, that's incorrect. I did pick it up in Jersey. I got on 78. I was in Elizabeth, New Jersey. That's where I was. At the port, at the shipping port in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So I picked up there. From that point, from the very beginning, it was a mess. First of all, arriving there, it was so congested. Trying to find a place to park to go to the shipping office. It was so congested. It was so hard to find a place to just park, just to walk in. And then I had to come back outside, take a picture of the trailer plates, take a picture of the truck plates, get back and submit whatever little piece of paper that they wanted you to fill out. I filled it out, turned it in. I had to wait. Then they gave me a door to back into on the opposite side of the building. And it's a long building. It's like a quarter of a mile long. So I get down there, and I was dreading it because on the lane to go in that direction, there was a line, literally like a mile long, of trucks trying to get into the port.
Mm-hmm.
So I was dreading that. Luckily, by the time I got out, all those trucks were allowed in, so I was free to go. Now I get there, I go to the back of the building like they asked me to, after stopping at the guard shack, getting directions and whatnot. So I go. They told me go to the door, report to that door. So I report to the door, and they tell me, no, you're at the wrong door. And I said, but the guard shack sent me here. Nope, it's not here. It's at, and she gave me the number of another door. I go to that other door. Nobody's there. Nobody's opening the door. I'm knocking, ringing, banging. Nothing. Ain't nothing happening. So I go back to the original. I say, listen, I don't know what's going on, but nobody's, well, it's not here. It's over there. All right, cool. So I go, I park, I let my dispatcher know, hey, there's some kind of confusion going on here. I don't know what the deal is, and I'm looking like, okay, so the big deal for us is, and I've shown it many times, the tablet with my hours of service. So you got to watch that. So here I am. My hours are running down, and nothing. I'm just waiting. Finally, after like 3 or 4 hours, for a total of 5 hours, I get a phone call from inside the warehouse because they have my phone number, and they're asking me, hey, have you checked in yet? I got a load here that's supposed to be picked up by you. Goes, yeah, I've been sitting out here waiting because I went to the door that the guard checked I'm going to go to. And she said, no, I'm supposed to go. He apologized and everything like that. I got a door. He took care of me, da-da-da. But my hours were destroyed. So I don't like that because now I got to drive longer than what I need to drive every day.
To make up for it.
Yeah, you get fatigued and all that good stuff. So, all right, fine. Now, on my way, so I'm on 78 to 81, 81 all the way down into Tennessee to 40 all the way across. So I'm going across. So I'm going across Nashville, which is a headache because of traffic. But luckily, at the time that I went through, there wasn't. Memphis.
I remember Nashville being a hard city to drive through.
Yeah, it is. And then Memphis, then into Arkansas. So I'm going across.
Jacksonville, New York, and what did we just say? Nashville were the 3 cities that
I think the one that New York City's rough.
Yeah.
Atlanta is rough.
Yes. Yeah. I remember Atlanta too.
Houston is rough. San Antonio's rough.
I haven't
LA
been.
is rough. So now I'm headed across. You know what? I screwed up. No, that's not where I picked up the load. I picked it up in Arkansas. Well, whatever. I'm going across 40, and as I'm like 90 miles away from Albuquerque, a storm hits. The highway became a parking lot for 5 hours again, with the hours getting screwed up.
I remember when this happened. You were telling me.
Yep. So the first delivery was to a Trader Joe's in Phoenix. When I arrived, they told me I had to reschedule because I'm late. I was late 4 minutes. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
I was stuck in a storm for 5 hours. Oh, can't help you. You got to reschedule. They rescheduled for 2 days later. But here's the part that had me bugging. And this is when I did that live.
Yeah.
They had me redelivered to a different facility. Close by, but a different facility. We had to come up with $970 as a re-delivery fee. Otherwise, they weren't going to unload.
No kidding.
Truck. Yeah. They got paid. They assigned me a door. I opened the doors to back into the door. After I back into the door, like an hour later, they're done with me. I go get the paperwork, come back to the truck, pull away from the door. And when I go close the doors, I stop and look inside the trailer, and it didn't look like anybody took anything off. I got a little concerned. Like, what the hell? I was going to go check to find out what the hell's going on because they unload or not. Because it doesn't look like they unloaded anything.
Max, no.
I look at the paperwork, and it was just 2 pallets that they took. So these people at Trader Joe's declined unloading me for being 4 minutes late after being in a snowstorm, parked on the highway, literally parked on one of the lanes of the highway for 5 hours.
With only 2
pallets. They couldn't cut me a break for 2 pallets that we wound up paying $970 as a re-delivery fee for 2 measly pallets. And to lose an entire day, so my paycheck is going to be light.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Well, that sucks, man.
It sucks big ones. It sucks big ones.
I know that when we had to... Oh, Jesus. Max has found something. I know when I used to work unloading them, we would get the truckers coming in deliver. When I worked, I used to build gym equipment throughout the state of Florida in schools, bleachers and backstops, basketball backstops and stuff, you know. And I remember that we had 2 hours to unload that freight. And if we didn't unload that freight, we were paying for the driver's time. Are you there? Did you freeze?
Sorry, I was just reading something. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Well,
yeah,
I don't know if you're frozen or not.
What is what size truck was that?
They were big ABF trucks.
Oh, okay. Arkansas's best freight.
Oh, is that what that stands for? I never knew that.
Yeah. Arkansas's best freight. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
usually steel, rebar, or aluminum.
Oh, so they came through with a flatbed then, probably.
No, just a regular tractor trailer, you know, but
Really?
it would be filled with all the steel and aluminum for think of high school bleachers, you know.
Okay.
I used to build those, you know.
Okay.
Basketball backstops in gyms. All that's all steel
Gotcha.
pipes
So,
and
so
stuff
you
like
were a
that. Yeah.
jack of all trades too.
What's that?
You were a jack of all trades too.
Yeah, that's what we were talking the other night. I said you wore many hats and so have I. I said it's you know, I get bored with the job. That's it. I was done. Well, I did that in my teens for a few years.
Right.
You know, I was doing construction mainly and doing cooking. I always did cooking on the side, and then I was working down here. They've got a place in Palm Beach called West Palm Beach called City Place that they basically tore down the ghetto and made a downtown area. You know, and I
Kick
did.
them all out.
Yeah, I did the construction there, and while I was there, there was an 80-year-old guy that was up on the roof that we got from the day labor service, and he was pounding nails in, and I said, I don't want to be up on a roof pounding nails in when I'm 80 years old, man.
Hell
I'm
no, right?
I'm gonna focus on cooking. I could be 80 and flip a skillet, you know. I don't want to be 80 on a roof banging nails in, you know.
To start that kind of career cooking,
Hmm.
what can a person expect when they first get started? First of all, what's the best route? Is it good to go to a school? What's the best
Well,
route?
I don't know. Everybody that I've ever had from school. See, I started as a dishwasher in a club. I mean, my father was a cook, so I learned a lot of the trade growing up too. That I didn't
Mhm.
realize that I was learning, that he was teaching me how to cook as I was growing up. You know, when I was 5 years old, he was teaching me how to make scrambled eggs, stuff like that. You know, simple stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but number one, it's one of the most, if you could get a job in a kitchen, if you can work good in a kitchen, you can get a job anywhere in the United States. You know,
Yeah.
everywhere is looking for someone. My first job, I started a sub shop when I was 16, making sandwiches and stuff like that. That's where I
Right.
learned how to. It was like a fast food. It was like a Subway, but more faster. It was Miami Subs. Um, it's just a local place down here. But
Culinary. I might have to consider that.
it's,
No?
hey,
Is it a tough road to climb in to make a decent living?
to make to make a lot of money, yeah, yeah. I'm fortunate to be where I am. Most people with my education, even with my education and experience, don't make the wages that I do. I just got fortunate and slipped into a country club. You know, the people in my same position any other place, I mean, the restaurants, they don't want to pay you to do it. I'll give you an example. I got a summer job and they wanted to hire me right away. And they said, "Well, what do you make? What is it going to take for you to stay here?" And I said, "I That's not an option." And they looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, "No, you don't have. This is just something I'm doing for the summer. I'm helping you guys out because my friend asked me to help him out because he was working here and you guys were hiring a bunch of shitheads. So I came in to help. And but after summer, I'm gone." And they said, "Well, what do you make over at the club?" And I told them what I make, and they were
And
like,
they
"Oh,
said, hell no.
we can't pay that. And I was like,
Exactly. That's why there's no chance of me staying.
you don't understand. I make that in 6 months. That's what I make in 6 months. You're not going to pay me that as a salary for the year. Then weird. I told you we're not. You're not going to do it. I knew how these guys. And actually, it was a Dominican owner.
Oh yeah.
They own a chain down in Dominican Republic. Yeah,
Forget it, man. Listen.
and they pay their guys $200 a month in Dominican.
Yeah.
And they're cooking fresh. You've got cooks that actually cook and saute everything to order. They're hiring. They're thinking that they're getting these people from the same wages, but they're getting, Pizza Hut employees. They're getting kids.
Right.
I had to teach them how to cook bacon bits. I had to teach them how to cook
What?
bacon bits. Yeah,
That's
but
insane.
they're expecting the same quality of work, and that just wasn't happening. It just wasn't going to happen.
That's insane.
Yeah, I got a lot of funny stories with that place. But it was fun. I'm sad they went out of business. They were sinking a lot of money into it, but it was one of those jobs that you work at. I implore you to read the book Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony, too bad he unalived himself.
Yeah, but
He suffered from depression, right? I know.
He had depression. He had drug addiction. There was a lot of things going on with him. But his book is the nitty gritty insides of this trade.
Really?
And I read that book, and I know I've worked with somebody, all these weird, strange characters that are in his book that he's talking about working with and stuff like that. I've worked with people exactly like that, and I'm like, oh, this guy, this is the truest that you can be, and it's gritty. You know what I mean?
It is, huh?
It's not for the. There's another lady that I worked with. I gave her the book to read, and she was just like, it was too.
It was too little. It's too real.
Yeah, too real. Like he's talking about what inspired him to become a cook was he was a dishwasher in a little bar and grill, and they were hosting a wedding
In New England, right?
So I believe so, but they were hosting a wedding, and he was like a dishwasher at 16 years old, and the head cook that was in there, next thing you know, he just says, "Hey, I need you to watch the line for a minute. I got to go out back." And the guy went out back and did the bride to be in the dumpster or in the dumpster area. And he says, "That's the moment that I knew I wanted to be a chef."
Okay.
So it's a little graphic, but it's like I said, everything, every part about that is true. Hold on one moment. I don't know how to. Okay, one moment. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
No, go right ahead.
Hang on 1 minute, honey.
Guys, I can't believe it. I'm hungry again. But I ate yesterday, so I don't understand.
Good night.
Good night, love. My daughter came out. I had to figure out how to mute this with the.
Yeah, it gets tricky.
Yeah, the funny thing was, she was like, "My friend said they all want to be like you." I was like,
Wow. You're a celebrity, man.
"I guess so." And she was like,
When your kids' friends want to be like you, you're a celebrity, man.
Well, I've always been known as the cool dad. You know what I mean? When I have the kids over, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I take it easy. I guess kids. I love children too, by the way. But even when they're older and stuff, I don't know. Like all the kids, it was bring your kid to work day on Thursday, and I brought my daughter in, and two of my friends bring their kids in, which are the same age as my kids, but all the kids want to come work with me instead of their parent, their mom.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're the the one mother works at the front of the house, so she's a waitress. So it's like, that's boring. But when you're in the kitchen, you're doing crazy stuff and you're cooking stuff and you're,
right.
that's exciting for them.
You're Bourdain, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You're Chef Boyardee. You're the man.
Yeah. Plus, I'm used to directing kids. One of my first jobs, I was like 25, I guess.
Yep.
And I was just on a line with a bunch of 16, 17-year-old kids. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I just had to run them, you know what I mean? Like an army, you know what I mean? So I'm just used to directing them and doing that. Because that's actually my title at the club that I work at is lead cook. So
lead cook.
I'm not a chef. I'm not like the sous chef. Even though I've been there 20 freaking years and I probably deserve the title, but no one's died yet, so I can move up. So.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah. Yeah. But they're all getting old. There's a position coming soon.
That's the top rank right there, sous chef?
Sous chef is the chef that's under the chef. He's
Huh?
All right, you've got the chef, okay? Then you've got the executive sous chef, which is second in command. And then you have sous chefs, which would be third in command. So if you're a sous chef, you're still above, everybody else. Me being a lead cook, I'm in charge of the other. Well, I'm not going to say I'm in charge.
You're the sergeant.
I'm not in charge of. I'm a leader of those guys. I don't boss them around or anything.
So there's a hierarchy.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a hierarchy. It's like a military. It's definitely like the military. That's why anybody that's been in the military fits right into a kitchen. Generally, it's a real easy fix. If I'm working with somebody and they say that they're a vet, they're an Army vet or something like that, I'm like, well, you'll fit right in. Don't worry about it. And generally you do. Everybody gets
how is the dynamic between the chef, the executive sous chef, the sous chefs, and then everybody? How exactly is the communications between the ranks? Does it get hectic? Is it?
Well, I run in a very well communicated kitchen, and that's the key right there. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do. My chef doesn't have to tell me what to do. He posts all the events up on paper on the wall. We got a board of all the events, all the weddings coming up, of all the birthday parties coming up, everything that's gotta happen. I know exactly what I have to do. I get the same copy of the sheets, and I have a different kitchen, a separate kitchen, but I'll highlight everything in with a highlighter that I look on Saturday the 7th. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do that. And it's done. The chef doesn't have to even speak with me about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how well run this place is.
Like a well-oiled machine, so everybody knows their role. Nobody has to go and tell.
And if someone gets sick and isn't able to make it, we all know what that person had to do, and we all chip in. Hey, I'll get this, you get that. and take care of their duties, and just make sure it happens.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I imagine not all environments are that smooth.
Yo, not at all. Most of them are much more chaotic. At that rate, you'll cook your own, DeAndre.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking for a career change, man.
Well,
But I don't want to go into something that it's going to take a lifetime just to.
if you want to make money in this career, then yeah, it takes a while, or it takes a lot of money in school doing that. But even I've had culinary kids that they see, when you go to culinary school, you pay a shit ton of money, and you get 2 years of training, and when you come out, you're an entry level position. You're still an entry level position.
And you got
Meanwhile,
a loan over your head.
and you got a loan over your head. Meanwhile, I've been working as a dishwasher, doing all the prep work for the cook, and he's been teaching me how to do stuff for the last 2 years. I don't know. That's how I did it. You know what I mean? So, but some of the culinary guys that would come in, not only that, they pay all this money for the school, and they feed it into their head that they're gonna be the top chef. They're gonna be top. But you're spit out at entry level position, and then they hit the world and they're going, oh my God, this is not what I signed up for. I don't want this. I don't like this guy yelling at me because I'm a doofus.
Right.
Because you don't.
Right.
I mean, generally you won't get yelled at.
But you're not going to be doing the things that you were taught to do in school right off the rip.
If
You're going to be sweeping the floor, throwing out the trash.
yeah, exactly. You do whatever has to be done, and those guys that do it, that are willing to do that, those are the ones. Like the guy that's always working hard, I'll be like, hey man, let me show you how to do this. Boom. I'll show him, because I want him. Is a hard worker. I would rather have him. I can look at him and say, hey, I need lemons cut for the, whatever. He'll know exactly what I mean. You get somebody that just comes in and wanders in. Oh, that's not my job. I don't want to do. Okay, you're going to be a dishwasher your whole life. And some of them enjoy the life of just being a pot washer. They don't want anything more, anything less. Baffles me personally, because I try to learn everything I can. Whenever any profession that I'm in, I just am a sponge for knowledge. I want to learn everything.
Yeah, but at this stage of the game, man, I gotta wait. I gotta wait 2 years. 2 years? Yeah, probably 2 years. 2 more years before I can really make some real moves.
Yeah.
I have to wait.
Sales? I think you'd be a good salesman.
I was a salesman.
I think you'd be a great salesman.
I was a salesman. I was a salesman when I was in the finance industry.
Yeah, but I think it'd be more financially beneficial for you if you wanted to switch trades, go into sales.
Think so?
I think so. I don't think slinging pots would.
Okay, here's the deal with sales, right? Sales. Sales is
It's commission.
it's commission, but there's a lot of cutthroat.
Yes.
A lot of cutthroat.
Yeah.
And I'm not motivated to going back into that cutthroat environment. Really not. No. I don't have patience that I had before, and I don't have that curiosity to want to learn to the point where I'm distracted from the nonsense.
Yeah.
So now, because I've already peeked behind the curtain and know what goes on, somebody comes with the nonsense, I really don't know. I really
Polite
don't
way
know
to
how
shut
short,
him down.
I don't know how short my fuse would be.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, you know, I got a friend that's your age. He's my boss, the guy that does the cooking, the egg breaking video, you know.
Yeah.
But he's getting very short with his temper.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm just done with it. I'm getting older, and I'm just not putting up with any. I can't put up with the shit anymore.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
all right.
That's how I got this.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
Yep.
Max.
What kind of communication is going on up in here? See Jackson and Double D communicating. Y'all's communicating. Yeah, but let's see. The latest is in the chat.
Max. Come on.
Yo, Jackson, you live on a farm or something? What the hell is that? Seriously? Cow shit? Plus Laffy Taffy. Combined. Man, mommy milkers and dead milk? You got quite the diet, Jackson.
Sit. Good boy.
Lemon plus barbecue sauce. And that shit ends up tasting like booty plus that. Tasting like booty? Yo, Jackson, man. What the hell kind of diet you on, man? It turns out Jackson is a chef.
Oh, nice, Jackson.
Let me give you his recipe here. Special edition one that is lemon plus barbecue sauce. That shit ends up tasting like booty plus Laffy Taffy and a little bit like dead and dry combined water. There you go.
Okay.
You ain't never prepared it like that?
Well, I've mixed a mojo seasoning with which is citrus marinade with barbecue, and that actually is very good. It turns into like a citrus barbecue. It's delicious.
Well, he's got the Patrick Mahomes edition. That shit tastes like cow shit plus Laffy Taffy combined with mommy milkers and dead milk.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can't top that, Brandon, I don't see how you can become sous chef and above.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
You got to get it together, man.
But you know what? This is what chefs do: is we bounce ideas off one another. You know.
Oh, so Jackson, look, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. You bounce ideas, and we usually we sit up drinking all night and are like, oh yeah, well we should do this for special tomorrow. Yeah, but we could do this or we could do that, and oh yeah, but if we do this and that, you know what I mean? And you just bounce ideas. But normally,
Jackson drinks though.
What's that?
I don't know if Jackson drinks. Jackson, do you drink? Are you still there?
No. I'm just saying, in general, just up late at night, chit chatting and just shooting the shit like we are right now. You know,
the late night
after work hours.
Brandon, I don't know. I'm struggling right now. I ate that spaghetti and meatballs.
Is it still light where you're at, or is that just
It's the parking lot.
Is the parking lights?
Yeah.
Where you at?
I'm in hot Atlanta.
Oh, okay. You're on the same equatorial line as I am.
Yep.
You know?
I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah.
From you, I'm probably
you know where the
probably 9 hours away from you.
Yeah, but you know how northern you get, the more sun you got, or you get up to Alaska, you got 24 hours of sunlight. You know what I mean?
4 hours, yeah. So where you're at is pretty the it doesn't vary a whole lot from seasons from one
No,
season
just
to
by
the
a
next.
couple. No, just by a couple hours. You know, it
Yeah.
shortens maybe 2 hours. That's what screwed me up when I went to Michigan. Is
Oh yeah.
I was
By
up
five
there.
o'clock it's already dark in the winter.
Well, I was up there during the summers, and
So it was daylight until like 8:30,
yeah,
9 o'clock.
10:30. I'm looking, and I say, all right, guys, I got to go to bed at 9 o'clock because I got to be at work tomorrow. And my boss, the chef, because we had a bonfire out in front of the community living that we had, and he was like, "You realize it's 10:30 at night right now?" And I'm like, "Oh shit," because the sun was still out. I was like,
Right.
"Oh,"
Beaming.
it was like dusk, you know.
It's beaming. I don't get it, man. I don't understand why I'm so hungry. But I'm gonna satisfy that hunger though. I'm gonna eat what Jackson got, the new one he put up, Mommy Milker's edition. That
Fruity
tastes like
Pebbles.
ass and Fruity Pebbles, Boston Donuts combined, if mojo.
Okay.
So some mojito on there.
Some
Jackson
mojo marinated donuts. Sounds good.
Jackson is a certified beast in the kitchen, man.
He's a certified badass. Look at that.
It's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. We're just talking about Shaft.
And we can dig it. I want to show you something, man. Don't worry. I want to show you something.
What you popping up?
Little something. I'm going to
Well,
shut
I
it down.
apologize. I think the last time that I was on live with you, I was leaving my buddy's party and I was a little inebriated. I wanted to apologize about that.
Oh, you don't need to. That's not necessary. I got love for all of you.
It's assault for the fatties. Jackson,
Look.
I once did have a job, and it was putting grease on doors to get big girls through them.
Nah, man. Jackson got the formula, man. Add booty bombers to salt water for the fatties. He's got a list of recipes that blow people's minds, man.
They're interesting. But I actually had a job, and I would have to lube up the doors so that big girls could get in and out, you know?
Wow.
I'd grease them up.
Let's see what's going on here. Oh. Trump says I have a fed person who is not really doing a good job. Oh.
Is he talking about, who's he speaking about?
Talking about my boy, man, Jerome Powell.
Who's in charge of the interest rates, correct?
Yeah, he's not getting very good reviews for his first.
Yeah, because he doesn't want
that's tricky,
to lower he doesn't want to lower the interest rate, and
he does.
Trump's getting
well,
mad.
no, the Fed doesn't, because the Fed cannot do what people want them to do just because they want him to do that.
Exactly.
He can't do that.
Not
if he's a responsible Fed.
Yeah.
He's got to go by whatever data there is.
Yes.
And listen, sometimes.
Let me ask you a question: Is Tesla stock still going up?
Let's check. Good question.
I'm curious about that, because I'm wondering when that's going to start dropping, or when they're going to hit the wall with that. Bullshit will only run it for so long. It's up
So it has been
15%,
going on. Let's
up
check the chart.
6%, up 6 points.
Well,
Is that what that says?
throughout the day, no, $6, up 2%. But
Okay.
after hours, it went down.
Yeah.
This is a tricky situation. Let me see if
Yes.
I find year to date. Oh, here we go. Year to date. Let's get the chart. Look, there's the stock year to date. So basically, it's been going down. Let me see 1 year. All right.
Wait,
so
how far back was when it started dropping? Majorly started dropping.
So the peak was on December 17th. That's the peak. December 17, 2024. From that moment on, it's been dropping.
Okay. So that was even before the president was elected. Started dropping.
Yep.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. Because I was under the impression that it was just happening because of all the political stuff that was going on right now. But no.
what, the drop in the price?
Yeah.
Well, the drop in the price is a combination of things.
Yeah.
The drop in the price. For one thing, the institutional investors, the information that they gather, they know what's going on with his competitors. They know what's going on with what's happening with his manufacturing in China. They take into consideration the relationship between him and the Chinese government, him and the U.S. government, the U.S. government with China, the competition that has surged in China. They're manufacturing electric vehicles that are at least equal in quality to the Teslas. But they're able to sell it for a third of the price of the cheapest Tesla.
Yeah.
That's a reality that eventually is going to put Tesla in a less advantageous situation.
Yeah. Well, they're already there. I think they're already there.
Oh, they've been there.
Now, my other question to you is: did you see today that they what was it? Shit, I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I wanted to let you finish. This happens. I got a shitty short-term memory. I'm sorry.
Need more of that some booty bombers that Jackson makes.
Yeah, maybe that'll might help get me up and going. Who knows? Oh yeah, today 2 members of the Doge were given access to the same places where our nuclear codes are.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
There's been so many crazy, insane things going on with Doge and the people that Elon is trying to hire, these
23-year-old
hackers
kid
and all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah, 23-year-old employee. There's no more water out here, buddy. I'm sorry. Hang on. I gotta attend to my son. My only son. Come on.
Yep.
Come on. Yeah. Right there. My water bottle's empty, so you gotta get them from the tap. What you got? What are you pulling up? Thanks, man. Crude oil's down.
Yeah, $59.72 a barrel.
It's down 1%.
Those are the June 25th contracts. So here's what it's looked like in the past 5 years.
This is oil you're looking at right now. Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, oil. Yep. Now, oil is a big deal because it is a commodity that everyone around the world needs.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a 5-year chart, right?
That's the last 5 years.
Yeah. So I want to take a look at where it is today, which is May
2022. Now that hold on. When that spike happened, that was during the pandemic, right?
Yep.
2022.
Yep. So let me go back to May of 2024. So May 1st now. May 1st. I want to check and see if there's a pattern because of seasonality. Okay, so here's
Generally,
May of 2024. The price went down also, not as low as it is now, but it went down nonetheless. Now let me check May 2023. In that particular case, it was on the lower end, but it's still relatively high. Check May of 2022.
well, during the summer, that's when people travel more.
That's why I'm checking for seasonality.
More consumption during the summer, I believe.
Yeah, that's why I'm checking for seasonality.
Gotcha.
Because if the current price is not because of seasonality, then what is it?
Ah, gotcha. No, yeah, you're making a good point.
So then there must be a lower demand for oil. Now, when you're looking at oil and oil prices, it's not just the demand here in the United States. It's a global commodity.
Yeah.
So you have to consider what the demand is globally for this commodity. And if the price continues to go down, because since January, since mid-January, the price of oil has been going down. That's been the trajectory since January.
Oil's going
So
down, eggs are going up.
yeah, so if the price is going down, is demand throughout the world going down? And if that's the case, that means that
Well, look at all right. You got the trade wars going on. A lot of people are going to stop shipping to the United States simply because of those tariffs and all that other stuff. I think a lot of there's people that are talking about moving storage areas to Canada to supply to store things to hold out for the hope that the tariffs get you understand what I'm saying?
is it a global issue?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I think he upset the whole global economy with his little shenanigans that he's doing.
So it's a global impact. So yeah, this is not a local thing. If you're looking at oil, it's not a local thing.
Yeah.
Now,
The world economy is he disrupted the entire thing.
the ones that produce the oil, corporations that produce the oil throughout the world, would much rather be the same way it was back in June of 2022 when the price was at
When everybody needed it.
$120 a barrel.
Now people aren't shipping as much. The whole world the whole world trade is coming to a grinding halt because of a lot of this shit.
So then at this price now today, 59.68, these oil producers are not happy. OPEC is not happy. And the leader of OPEC are the Saudis. They're not happy unless they want to drive the price down to upset a particular government. They're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, the Russians are not happy because if the global market is paying $59, $60 a barrel, that's right around the amount that the sanctions were made. So when the sanctions were at $60 while everyone else, and the price of oil was higher, they weren't getting the maximum amount they could get. Now they have nothing saved up for what's going on now.
Which is complete chaos and
Now plenty of countries that don't produce oil, they're in a better place because they don't have to spend so much for their energy costs.
mm-hmm.
So that is an expense that has been lowered for them. However, once again, what's the point of, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, you got your eye on a car that costs $80,000 a year, then the price of that car goes from $80,000 to $40,000, which is a 50% drop. But what good is it to you if your salary goes down 50% also? You're still in the same boat.
Yeah.
So if the price of oil is going down, like I said, it's a savings. But is it really? Because if the economy of these other countries are going down as well, that means that it doesn't matter if the price of oil goes down, it's still relatively the same in terms of the burden.
Yeah.
To pay the lower price when their economies lower also. So I'm definitely gonna try to figure out what the hell's going on here.
It's interesting. In this, you're witnessing. Well, let me rephrase that. We are witnessing
Mm-hmm.
history happening. You know what I mean?
Now, at this price, there are smaller oil and gas producers that have such a tight margin that this can if it continues going lower, this could start putting a hurt on this sector of the economy here in the United States, because you have a lot of smaller producers that borrow money to keep themselves competitive in this industry, and they might have to start firing people. And some might have to start filing for bankruptcy. Now, the bigger ones, like the Exxons and the Chevrons of the world, they're okay with that because they have the money to sustain themselves and to keep their business going. But the smaller ones, see, that's the thing. All this stuff that's going on right now, tariff and the trade wars and all that other good stuff, it's not the wealthy that are getting hurt. It's the small business owners and the.
But I think that was the design of it as well, though.
Okay, so with what purpose in mind? I mean, if you're voting.
No. I think that what I'm saying is I think that it was purposeful in mind to sabotage the little businesses.
Well, big corporations would, it's a competition as far as they're concerned.
Yeah.
So a big corporation won't hesitate to try to end whatever amount of competition they can. And smaller businesses are always more vulnerable because they don't have the money
The cushion, yeah.
to cushion themselves. So what big businesses do, they encourage politicians to create more, what do you call that, regulations. Deregulation is not something that favors the big corporations. It's regulations that favor them, because they have the money to comply with these regulations. It's the smaller businesses that have to struggle to comply with regulations.
Yeah, and they're dying out, even down to the farmers, even down to the
farmers getting roasted.
Yeah, big time right now.
No. So I'm going to keep monitoring this thing. 59.71 now.
Now you said that look at Bezos stock, because I'm curious as to Amazon. Yeah, I'm curious because you said he took a stand and then he took a step back, and then he retracted himself. That's what you told me that happened today.
Yeah. So today's action is the 5 here. Let me narrow it down to 5. So here's what happened in the past 5 days. So today it opened lower. It opened. Here's today.
It opened
gap down
there. Okay.
at about, what was that? It opened at $188.12,
It almost made it right back up to where they originally
and it
were.
closed at 187. So it closed down from the open, not by much, no big deal. Now
Yeah.
let's see where it's been year to date. So it's steadily been going down year to date. The highest here was February 4th. It opened up at $239 and closed at $242. So it closed up.
See, I would assume that Amazon was doing awesome. To be honest with you, this is the first time I've seen this.
The bulk of Amazon business now is cloud.
Is what?
Cloud storage.
Yes. Well, if you mean by like, when you say cloud storage, you mean like data storage?
Yep.
Okay. I was just talking about Amazon, the actual entity that buys and sells things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this kind of stuff that you see on the charts, this is natural. I mean, it's come down a lot off its peak the past year. It's come down a lot from in February. It's come down. It closed at 187.39. And it came down from 238. 239 came down. 187. But see, stocks don't move up and down in a straight line.
Yeah.
So this is not. And there can be reasons why the stock movement is like this, and it has nothing to do with the performance of the company. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the performance of the company.
I was curious for political reasons. That's why I was curious. Is if his political reasons caused a.
No, in this particular case, the only political flag that came up was the move that he did earlier today.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't. It wasn't so impactful. Not really.
It didn't influence anything.
No, not for this business. So, like I was saying to the professor, this company appeals to what do you call it? Convenience.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of convenience that this company provides for goods.
Yeah.
It's just
not
too big.
Not only that, you could write a book and publish it. I mean, by yourself. You could write a book, load it to Amazon, and it never actually gets printed unless somebody orders a copy of the book, and then it gets printed up. And Amazon will send it to you. I've got 2 friends that did that through Amazon that had their books published. I have 2 of their books.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Way too convenient.
It is
so
it's extremely convenient. You can publish anything, but it's not like back in the day where they had to print all the books and then try to sell them. No.
This business model.
That's it.
This business model destroyed other business models, and this particular business model is too hard to disrupt.
Yeah,
it's too hard to disrupt. So, no, this is nothing like what Tesla's going through. Tesla's getting destroyed.
Yeah, but I think that's political though. I think that's
Well,
that's got,
his political involvement, along with his shenanigans on his social media platform,
yeah, I agree.
have disgusted people to the point where they're not just individual customers, but nations are actually participating.
But the thing that like I don't get is, he gave his quotes the other day or whatever and said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna sit in and I'm gonna be part of I'm gonna take time off of the government, the Doge program, and I'm gonna focus on this." All right, yeah, well, you know, come on, you still ruined your business. It's still going downhill. Why is the stock
Now
going up? Why
it
is the
popped
stock
back up.
going up?
It popped back up a little bit in the past few days, but there can be reasons that have nothing to do with the um, actual
Business itself.
Tesla business itself. Yeah, this could all be some moves uh, that the institutional investors are trying to do to get rid of their positions with the stock.
Mm-hmm.
The pump and dump. This could be a pump and dump.
Where he's just
So
going to be just laid out flat.
I see what's called a head and shoulders pattern forming. If
Sorry.
Yep.
Apologize.
Right, but
Continue, please.
so if this price starts going back down again, depending on how low it goes, I could see a head and shoulders pattern forming.
What do you mean by head and shoulders pattern?
That's a technical analysis term.
Uh-huh.
This, I don't know if you can see my cursor.
Yes.
This would be one shoulder. This is the head.
Yeah.
And this could be shaping into another shoulder here. If this starts to go down, it forms a shoulder.
Gotcha.
You can see that price dropping to about.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. It's a reference to the
It could be dropping down to
line
80.
of the line of the. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, it could be dropping down to $80 a share.
Yeah.
If it forms into a head and shoulders and actually follows the pattern that usually occurs after head and shoulders, yeah, that stock could be going down to $80, and if it does, Elon can get devastated because he doesn't take a salary from Tesla. What he does is that he uses his shares of Tesla as leverage to get a loan.
Yeah.
So he avoids paying taxes then.
Yeah.
But if the share price goes down too low, then the banks are going to call in that loan because they're going to want their money because what he's using
They see him screwing up.
What he's using for leverage no longer has the same value.
Well, kind of like what Trump did when he was overestimating all of his houses.
Yeah, right.
Exactly the same thing.
And the thing was that was some form of tax fraud because when you want to borrow money, you'll have an appraiser say, "Oh yeah, this house is worth $1 million," so that he can borrow $1 million.
Yes.
Or whatever amount he's borrowing. But then when it comes time to pay taxes, he'll have the appraiser say, no, it's worth 300,000.
Yes.
So when you want the loan, it's worth $1 million. When you want to pay taxes, the same property is all of a sudden worth 300,000. When, I mean, you can argue that, but if the real estate value of the properties in the same area haven't moved or went up, then how do you claim that your property in the same area went down so much so that you can try to avoid paying taxes on the
Credence
appraisal?
Credence Clearwater wrote a song about that.
Yeah. So
when the tax man comes, it's house looking like a rummage sale.
yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. That's how the fraud occurred.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got these knuckle. Even real estate agents came into Trump's defense on that, but
Yeah.
the evidence was clear. The evidence was clear. Listen, you appraised this value at one level and and asked for a loan in relation to that appraisal. But when it was time to pay taxes, the appraisal value in every other property in the area didn't go down. Yours somehow did go down. Now you're paying less taxes. No, that's suspect. Right off
Well,
the rip.
in all honesty, he did have. I mean, the property that was in question was the. I'm not talking about his golf courses. I'm talking about the Post Mansion, which is now currently Mar-a-Lago. You know, that's a historical building. It's. I don't know if he wants to claim. I know it's worth a shit ton of money, but
Which is fine. Listen,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
true. It's true what this one real estate agent came to try to rescue him on that issue. It is true that property values go up and down. However, there's a way to gauge whether your property is legitimately going down, because appraisers don't just appraise your house in your neighborhood. They appraise many houses in the same neighborhood.
yeah.
They see the pattern. They see whether
Oh, yeah.
everybody else's property is going up or down.
Yeah,
So if you
my neighbor's selling his house. He's looking at what the other houses are going for
Exactly.
in the area.
So when the appraiser comes through, your house was appraised at $1 million, then you go get a loan for $1 million using the house's leverage, and then when it's time to pay taxes, all of a sudden your house is worth 300,000. Guess what? It was appraised at $1 million. How the hell did this all of a sudden become 300,000?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to pay taxes on 300,000 and not $1 million, which is what it was initially appraised at.
Yeah.
That's tax fraud.
Yes.
That's tax fraud. Now,
Who's gonna?
if you or me, if we do that, guess where we're going? Yeah. We're going to jail. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Good luck.
You got what? What did he get? 25 felonies? How many felonies did he get?
40 something.
Yeah.
No, 30 something. 34.
34. 34
34
freaking felonies.
And then all these cult of personality people coming out to his defense about that. There's no defense. Oh, it's a made up stuff. No, it ain't. If it were made up.
I love the fact that the entire time he was touting about, I'm gonna be talking. I've got nothing to hide. I'm gonna be talking. And then when it came down to it, silent. Please.
But it's a pattern. It's a pattern.
Oh no, yeah. But how people don't see it, to me, how people don't see the BS
is it just it blows
That's the
my mind
concerning part. That's
how
the concerning part.
right. And was I talking to you? No, I was on my live stream.
Imagine you have a brother or a sister that's chasing after some guy or some girl, and you know their history,
Mhm.
and you try to wake your brother or your sister up and say, look, you do know that person participated in this, that, and the third. It is not a good idea for you to.
Associate with them.
And then they come out with the yeah, but. What do you mean, yeah, but?
Yeah.
What's going on in your mind that you come up with yeah, but, knowing what they've done to previous boyfriends or girlfriends that they've had?
Mhm.
How they wound up in the hospital after poisoning or brutal beatdown. How do you you're ignoring that? Seriously?
It honestly baffles me.
And then they get their ass whooped, and then they come asking for help. Help? How could you possibly ask me for help? You had an option. You had information before you selected that option, and you went ahead and did it anyway. And now you're asking for help. No. Talking about that, because I liken the MAGA to people who get abused by their spouse and they keep coming back. That's the worst. I've known that to be the worst type of call. Domestic calls are the worst type of calls that cops like to go to. The worst.
Yeah. I'm sure.
More cops get hurt responding to domestic calls than anything else.
Yeah. When they go to stick up for the
For the so-called victim.
victim, then they turn around and say, "Hey, screw you! Get your hands off my man!"
Yeah.
And
it's a head scratcher, and that's how I perceive MAGA. It's a head scratcher. Look at these farmers. They voted for Trump 3 times. The first time that their life was destroyed, losing their lands, losing their businesses, and this is and many admit that this is the 3rd time that they're voting, and I don't understand that.
Yeah.
If you were to turn the tables,
me neither.
You would have been fired a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
If you did 10% of what this man has done, you'd be fired.
Me personally, I'd be in prison.
Exactly.
So would you.
Yeah. Exactly.
You probably before me because you got a darker complexion, but
Yeah, that happens. Absolutely. You be in the Who Scout.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's okay when somebody else does it.
And it's crazy, but this is the thing, is how come we are the minority going, what the fuck's happening? Why is this happening? Why are we a minority?
We're not the minority. We're actually the majority. The working class and the poor, working class and middle class are the majority.
Yes.
But that's not what's
But I'm saying, why is it that when I talk to people like that, like you have an open mind about it? I don't know. I guess I can read between the lines. You read between the lines. How come nobody else does?
I don't.
Do you have an answer for that? Because it baffles me. it baffles me beyond
The only
anything.
the only answer I got is when I started at the brokerage firm, and through the orientation, they made it crystal clear that as you look for new customers, the rate of rejection is 98%.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't handle rejection that high, don't come back. Don't come back.
On a lighter note, there was
That's
a guy.
why I talk about percent. Huh?
On a lighter note, there was a guy that used to go into the bar and he would just whisper into every girl's ear sitting on the bar. Hey, you want to come home with me? Hey, you want to come home with me? Get slapped 5 times. 6th time, somebody would grab his hand and he was off. So, point I'm trying to make, it's numbers. You know?
Yeah. But the people with the people that are within the greatest numbers are the ones that are hurting themselves the most.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Listen, I'm gonna call it a night.
Yeah, sounds good because I gotta get to work.
Yeah, I gotta be up at like 6 in the morning. It's already.
However, just I could be up for freaking hours and hours and hours talking with you. I always enjoy your conversation, man. So, but
Oh,
you do
I
it.
get it.
But we gotta call it.
Yeah, we gotta call it, man.
All
Jackson,
right.
you ready to call it? Double D, you there? Whoever's there, I can't tell who's there. But again, guys, whenever I have these lives, I have a great time.
I always have a pleasure speaking with you. I always have a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, I pleasure myself when I talk to you, Brandon. So, folks, listen, before we go, don't forget, if you decide to go ahead, and it's not financial advice, but if you guys decide to go ahead and get yourself started in the stock market or add another account for your investing, I left the link to the Webull. I don't know what I don't remember what it's something like up to 20 free stocks that they offer when you open and fund it. Of course, it depends on how much you fund it for, which will make them decide how many free stocks you have. Some whole stocks, some partial stocks. But yeah, guys, thanks, man. Thanks again.
Hey, I've got an idea. Let's just say that I invest $10 a week. Okay.
Yeah.
And we go through your things, and then we can monitor how my money does through that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be an interesting little thing? We could just check in every weekend or something like that.
You can do that.
I think that would be fun. Make a little content.
$10 a week, yeah.
Make a content just to see how it goes. You know what I mean?
If you want to do that, we'll communicate about that.
Sounds good. All right, man. Have a great night.
All right,
Be
buddy.
safe.
Hey,
be safe, man.
Thank you, man. I promise I will. And everybody else, guys, stay fresh, keep it moist, and keep it profitable.